Step is to create a new document. I am going to say to do a 11 by 8.5, so it's just like a regular sheet of paper. You're going to oh no, this is going to really hurt my timing. 8.5 by 11, making sure that it's this way, create. Now I have to find my images. You can literally just go online and find whatever images in Google search. Okay, that's fine, because remember, we're going to be altering it so much that you aren't going to be able to really tell where it came from. So this is something that I think is important. So first I'm going to find my cat, and I'm pretty sure that if I just type in cat, it was pretty close to the top. Kitty, where are you? There it is. All right, and then I decided that I wanted to use this picture's background, but maybe the rooster had a more interesting background, and I decided to use the rooster's background and then import my cat into it. You have to pick one, or you can pick something else completely different. There was someone that did a duck. It was like a poodle duck, but then they put it like on the windowsill of like a Manhattan like city apartment, and it was just like hanging out there. So you can have fun with it that way too. Don't just copy the image from right here. View the image in its own tab and then copy it. Because if you don't do that, then the quality of the image isn't as good as it could be. You're going to run into struggles with pixels. You don't want to see pixels. So now I'm just going to paste it in here. It's teeny. How do I make it bigger? Does anyone know?
The bracket. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what you do for brush sizes, which was one we could have put up there as a good shortcut.
You do Command T.
I do Command T. Exactly. Free transform, hold down shift, pull my corners, get it as big as I can. Okay? Here's my kitty. Now I need a rooster. Or whatever else I wanted it to be. Then I hit enter. Okay. Dun-dun-dun. I hope this was early. I think it was this one. I just think chickens are so funny. Okay, viewing my image. Okay, copy. Now I'm going to bring it here. Little. So now my first step is, I would recommend, is getting my rooster to be about the same size that I want it to be. Now there's going to be a background that I have to deal with, but I'm just going to eyeball it for the time being. So I want my rooster head to kind of like be maybe about that big. At this point I can even like rotate it a little bit, make it a little bit bigger, play around with it. All right, how do I get rid of the background of my rooster? So right now I'm working like kind of a mad scientist. I want to be Frankenstein. I want to like chop up the pieces of the animals and then splice them together. I know it's really grotesque, but what do you think, Sam?
Do you use the selective tool?
I do, to get rid of it. So if you look over here on the right, these are my layers. I have my background layer, which is the white. I have this, which is my kitty layer, and then this, which is my rooster layer. I can either go in directly with just an eraser tool and start erasing, okay? Or I can be smarter, work smarter, not harder, and use this quick selection tool we talked about. I'm going to select the background areas around my rooster. And I can do this in parts. I don't have to do it all at the same time. And I'm going to just hit delete. And it's going to start deleting my rooster background, okay? See? Now, this is something that's going to be important for you guys. I'm going to zoom in super, super, super close to my rooster. And I'm probably going to notice something. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it, but we'll try. Ooh, there is an edge. You see that edge right there? That's left over from the tool. Also, I noticed that I erased my rooster's beak somehow. Oh, no. So I'm going to have to go back and fix that. For the sake of time, I won't. But this is when you should go in really close and do your spot checking. Use an eraser tool to just make sure that there isn't any weird edges or things happening. Also, sometimes, let's see, for example, let's zoom in really close here to this tail. You see how there's still like a soft white edge? That's a telltale sign that photoshopping happened. I don't want to be able to tell where you photoshopped, all right? So go in with an eraser tool and try to get rid of that edge, okay? See? Goodbye, edge. Okay, now, luckily for me, my feathers are have a pretty hard edge, but if I wanted to, like, for example, erase the fur of my cat here, this hard edge might not be the best option because it's not going to look realistic. I working hypothetically here, but do you see what I mean? It's creating a rough, sharp edge. Instead, this is when I would go into my brush tool right here, and right here it says hardness. I would bring this down to about 50 and use the edge. See how it's much softer? It's almost like a airbrush to create a subtle difference. And I'm going to go around when you guys are working and tell you when I think you should do it, and then you can use your own discretion for your own projects. Does that look a little bit more realistic, a little cleaner? You can even go softer than that. You can go down to like 14, and then it's going to be super soft. Okay, so I'm going back because that's not what I need. So steps that I would do if I had time to do them would be to erase my that line, would be to find my rooster's beak, because I accidentally nope, I want to go the opposite way, because I accidentally deleted it, and would be to go around and erase all that white edge around my rooster. Okay, hello. I just love how it looks like it's flying. So I think my rooster needs to be a little bit bigger for the body, so I'm going to make it a little bigger. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my rooster in half, because I want my tail to be down there and I want my head to be over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quick select, or even this tool right here right above quick select. This is a new one. It's called the lasso tool. It kind of works like the patch tool, except because what I'm doing is I can just select this area, and then it'll allow me to just take off that section. Okay, it's like cutting it in half. This is going to go right here. So now I need to get rid of my cat's tail, so it looks like it only has a rooster tail. How will I get rid of my cat's tail? Does anyone know? What do you think, Sam? The patch tool or the clone stamp tool. I can't. Right now I'm in my rooster layer. I now need to edit my cat. Going to my cat layer. I'm going to use the patch tool to select parts of the tail, move them over, make them disappear, or I'm going to use, let's go back, this clone stamp tool, remember this one, where I select an area over here, and then I can just paint with it. Now, why isn't it showing up very well? My hardness is pretty low, exactly, but there's one other reason too. My opacity, we talked about that. So first step, if your tool isn't doing what it's supposed to do, look up here at the top. Notice, does everything look normal? This should be normal. Your opacity, if you wanted to get rid of the whole thing, should be set at 100. In here, in your brush settings, is where you'll find hardness, okay? So my opacity was really low, so I couldn't. So it was kind of covering it up, but not enough. Now it should cover it up completely. See? Now you just go and grab some, move it around. That edge right there is starting because I was at the edge of my screen. Now, see, it's not going to work on my rooster tail because my rooster is on a different layer. I'm just going to sneak it right up close. Yeah, there we go. Now, that white right there is in the rooster. I would want to go in with my smart selection or with like a little eraser and get rid of that. Okay? This is not a smooth transition to me. See how it goes from cat to tail? I have a couple options. I can either A, take my eraser tool, being very, very subtle, okay, so my opacity low, my brush really soft, and I can start erasing my rooster tail, okay, like this. Ooh, see? It's very painterly. Like you're gonna have to use a little bit more of like a human touch in this to like get it to smooth out. So I could do it that way. Or I could use my patch tool to, or my clone stamp tool to, let's see if I can grab some tail. And this is how you would start to, now I would want this to be really low opacity. Start to bring feathers throughout the rest of my chicken, okay? It all depends on your animal and the situation. See? Start to make it look like feathers are coming out from other areas. Okay? That, to me, doesn't look as realistic as it did the other way. So I would say, no, probably not. But maybe you have like a lizard and their like scaly texture would look nice if you started to blend it down over the whole animal. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here with my rooster head. I'm going to take it arrange it where I want it to be. Oh, what happened? I had the whole thing selected. I need to just select this part. If I'm doing this, what did I just do wrong? Does anyone know? The picture is rasterized, but that's usually the first problem is when something isn't rasterized. I think I heard the other one. Did someone know?
You didn't select all of it. There was a little bit.
I didn't select all of it, so now I have it all selected, but I'm trying to move it over and it's not moving. It's because I still have my selection tool selected. I need to click this top one, which is my move tool. The shortcut for that is V. So now I'm going to take what I have selected and move it over, okay? This I'm going to line up as if it were coming out, like the top part here is coming out of the back and this is coming out from underneath the chest, okay? I need to get rid of this whole cat, so maybe I'll try to do a shortcut to use my patch tool. Need to be on the right layer. Okay, man. Hello, cat. Move it over. Need more of it. Move it over. Goodbye. So I can keep working with this, fiddling with it, making it go away. Maybe now I switched over to my clone tool and I would start just drawing it in, right, to make it look like that cat never existed over there. Cat. Okay. Then I would also go in now and make this rooster transition softer. Back to my rooster layer, erasing a little bit harder or a little bit more opaque. I would bring this paw out so it looked like the paw was coming. See? Hey. I think that doesn't look real, so I'm going to get rid of that. Voila. We have a rooster cat. I think I made the rooster bigger that time. Yeah. See how the rooster head is much bigger? I don't know. I think somewhere in the middle would be good. What do you think? You ready to start trying on your own? Okay. Figuring out what your animal is going to be the hardest part.